Hi guys, today's March 5th. I'm coming on here. I want to read to you a couple articles and stuff that came out, as well as this thing that came out last month. That's just going to blow your mind. First, I'm going to read to you this. It says, Dr. Deborah Birx warns hotspots will see a spike in coronavirus deaths over the next 6 to 7 days, which is Passover timing. And she said a top health official warned Saturday that the U.S. could see a dramatic increase in coronavirus deaths during the next week in hard-hit areas such as New York, Detroit, Louisiana. Data show that several hundred people per day could die in New York alone in the next 6 or 7 days, said Dr. Deborah Birx, coordinator of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, whatever, estimated as many as 700 a day when the peak hits. And they are predicting in those three hotspots, all of them hitting together in the next 6 to 7 days at once. It's going to be a very deadly period. Unfortunately, President Trump said a White House news conference. They are predicting, says this is the moment to not be going to grocery stores, not going to the pharmacy, but doing everything you can to keep your family and friends safe, they said. So, why am I bringing that up? Well, because if anybody has watched Watchwoman65's video about the 7,777,777,777 people in the timing of Passover and between now and Passover timing, the numbers. Well, last night, Colette, me, Nikki, and Nikki Jr. all went. And we was looking, we were on the phone. We did hardcore Bible study and we, was searching and that came up. And I went to unsealed.com and, we typed in, there was an article that was pertained to this number, which shocked me because it was written back in March 10th. And it's a long article, but I printed off the stuff that I really want to read. But they're saying that there's going to be that many people. 77777. Okay, well, the thing is, I went to the population, how many people there are, and there are 7.8 billion people right now. Okay, and that's not too far off from it getting to 7.7 billion. Okay, and this is their goal, is to depopulate as many people, and that's when this is the same timing as this peak is supposed to hit. None of this is coincidence, mind you. Okay, and then we have a 4.6 earthquake that rocked the Red Sea in the same spot that God parted the sea at the same timing of Passover. And that is not a coincidence either, okay, because God's about to take us home. He's about, about the Exodus, and about Moses, letting God's people free. God made a way for them to be free, just like he's making a way for us. And they swallowed up the Hebrew or the Egyptians as they came out, Ramesses and his army. The sea swallowed them up, but they were already at safety. Same as the Revelation 12 sign. Well, we have a sign, the Revelation 12 sign, which is happening today, on the 5th. And that's the second part. And so the pink moon is denoting the bride of Christ, which is about to be born out of Virgo, which is Israel, which is April 7th, Passover Eve. And Virgo represents either the Virgin, the Holy Spirit, or Mary's mother. And it represents the baby being born that's being caught away into a rapture. Okay, so now I'm going to read to you this, so bear with me. I have much more to add to this, permitting, and I'm looking forward to what you all have to say in the comments. Many themes are converging and repeating very suddenly: dragons, weddings, crowns, escape, etc. And I would be remiss if I didn't share with you that according to data from the United Nations, the world population will hit 7,777,777,777 sometime next month, perhaps around the time of what might be the Revelation 12:5 sign. Wow. Isn't that amazing? And that is what's occurring tonight. And then finally, this April 3rd, 4th, Venus, the morning star representing Christ, Revelation 22:16, will conjunct with the 7 stars, the Pleiades, representing the church, Revelation 1:20. For the first time in hundreds of years, as a possible fulfillment of the astronomical aspect of Revelation 12:5. This occurs precisely 923 days after the Revelation 12 sign on 9/23/2017, and less than 1 month after Venus had conjuncted with Uranus, which is a direct transliteration of the Greek word used in the Bible, heaven. 1 Thessalonians 4:16. This is a clear picture of Christ descending from heaven to meet the church, but is only an alignment. It may not pertain to a major event itself. Signs tell us we're getting closer and closer. Now, on this other sign that I want to insert the record for your view, Paul Dawson has been pointing out several Jewish sages now deceasing, including Yitzhak Kaduri and Sasson Shoshone, seem to have pinpointed this time in history with surprising clarity. This is all the more telling considering Kaduri seems to have come to a recognition of Christ shortly after his death. Before his death, Their prediction foretold of a political impasse in Israel extending through 3 elections. There would be no 4th, Kaduri wrote. On the eve of the year 5780, the upcoming Hebrew year, the year of the corrections, there will not be a government in Israel for an extended period, and the various camps will quarrel much without a decision on either side. And then on Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, they will fight in heaven, the holy side against the side of evil and God and his entourage, and will decide between them. And this is all I can say, and from here I swore not to reveal more secrets and hidden things. Wow. Kaduri also predicted there will come on that day that 2 ministers win the government in the land of Israel. Both their names will be Benjamin, and neither of them will succeed in establishing their government or kingship. Okay, and at this time we know that Netanyahu is going to hand the key over to the Messiah. There are 3 key pieces to this prediction. First, the impasse was predicted to be ongoing the eve of Rosh Hashanah 2019. Sure enough, this is exactly what transpired. September 17th was the second election and resulted in another stalemate. Second, Rosh Hashanah merely means head of the year. The Jewish oval calendar, on which 5780 began in September 2019, has differently yearly started point than the Bible. According to the Bible, the head of the year is Nisan 1, which occurs in March or early April. This year, it's March 26th. The point being, the eve of the year 5780 would indeed refer to the September 2019, but the later reference to Rosh Hashanah would be a reference to March 2020. Third, the prediction shows a glimpse of what would transpire in heaven. A war, this is exciting, a war between the forces of good and evil. The Bible predicted the same in Revelations 12:7-9. Michael and his angels fight with Satan and his angels and defeat them. Satan and his allies are cast down to the earth when they lose the war. Now, all the ancient pantheons have different names for gods, planets, stars, and constellations, but they all had major commonalities. Virgo was always predicted as the woman. Leo was always the lion. Jupiter was always the king planet. Venus was always the morning star, and Mercury and Mars were always representing of the messenger and war, respectively. In the Bible, Gabriel is always delivering a message. Daniel 8:16, 9:21, Luke 1:19 and 26, and Michael is always wearing Daniel 10:13, 21, 12:1, Jude 1:9, and 12:7. In terms of their astronomical type symbol, the identities of Mercury and Mars are clear, Gabriel and Michael. Next point I want to draw to your attention is that after the church is removed from the earth, the Antichrist is revealed. 2 Thessalonians 2:3 and 7, which we've all concurred that. In Revelation 13, he's described as the 7-headed beast coming out of the sea. Satan, having fallen to earth, post-war in heaven, gives his power to the beast. Revelation 13:2. According to traditional Orthodox pre-millennialism, the first seal of Revelation 6 is the unveiling, unleashing of the Antichrist. His fast global conquest is the first of the 21 judgments upon the earth. And I saw the Lamb open one of the seals. And I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying, as if were a voice of thunder, "Come and behold." And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he who is sitting on it having a bow. And there was given to him a garland, and he went forth overcoming, that he may overcome. Okay. Carly brought up a good point, and I've been thinking about this. What if, okay, since my dream to Palm Sunday is today, from 3 days ago, that, I said I'm not sure what's going to happen. I didn't even know about this sign until yesterday, actually. So that very well could be what God gave me that dream for, and the war that's going to be broke out, would be him cast out of heaven onto the earth, which would therefore be the comet, whatever. What if, since it's Palm Sunday, how Jesus rides in on a donkey, what if he rides in on his white horse to come get us? That'd be amazing. Not saying this is the case, just saying it was a pretty good thought. So far we're still here, but I mean, I'm not upset. And we still have 3 days before Passover. Okay. Now I'm going to draw your attention to Purim. All right. I'm going to try and show you these pictures, because the pictures describe 1,000 words. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. All right. This is March 10th. Okay. Sagittarius is one of the constellations depicting someone with a bow riding a horse. You can't make this up. The disturbing centaur-like figure isn't a modern invention either. The deception goes back to at least ancient Babylonia and would have well been known at the time of Christ and years later when John received his vision. Here's part 2. Okay. All right. Sagittarius. Oops. Sorry. To top that off, what do you see right next to the rider and his horse? It's Corona Australis. Not just any crown, but something like a wreath or garland, as the prophecy of Revelation 6 mentions. Is it not the coronavirus represent or mean crown? Okay, and as many have pointed out, Saturn could be a symbol of the fallen cherub, which is Satan. We see what looks like the battle lines draw Satan, which is Saturn, on the side, and Michael, Mars, on the other. And Mars represents war, remember? And on the right is the middle of Jupiter, representing the corporate body of Christ, the baby born from Virgo's womb from September 2017. This isn't the first time Satan contended with Michael over a body. Okay, and then it said, but even the archangel Michael, when he was disputing with the devil about the body of Moses, did not himself dare to condemn him for slander, but said, "The Lord rebuke you." Jude 1:9. 9 days later, on March 19th, the 23rd of Adar, 1 week before the biblical Rosh Hashanah, Mars conjuncts with Jupiter as it advances toward the battle line. Look at the picture here. Okay. And then it says, then on Nisan 1, Mars stands in the gap between Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn won't lay hands on his body. And if you see that, you can see these are pictures of the war and the stars moving and how everything's concurring with the scriptures. And I have a point to reading all this. Finally, on the last day of the month, Nisan 5/6, Mars meets with Saturn to battle. The war in heaven is on. Okay, there you go. March 31st. 3 or 4 days later, on the other side of the elliptical, Venus representing Christ conjuncts with the 7 stars of Pleiades. Here we are. Perhaps representing the glorified church, or the leader of the church is the collective assembly of Christians. And we all see right here the 7 stars, Pleiades, Venus, all that. Okay? All right. As seen in the western sky of Jerusalem at the moment of sunset, 7 p.m. exact time. Remember, after Michael defeats Satan and casts him out of heaven, the fallen cherub, which is Satan, gives his power and authority to the 7-headed beast of Revelation 13, a person with the bow, riding a horse, and given a garland earlier in the vision. Saturn continues to approach Sagittarius until this September. Wow. Shortly after entering the boundaries of the constellation, it stops and turns back. It's like a picture of passing the baton, Satan to the Antichrist at the time of Jacob's trouble, also known as the 70th week, kicks off. And I have more to add. Now, right here it shows in September of 2020 of this year, the war that's going on here. And then, okay, it says that is exactly what we are. That was it. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so my point to that was all this is leading to the sign that's happening in the sky tonight. And this was all from last month, okay? And this was just found last night, which I found absolutely amazing, okay? God is very good, and everybody is screaming the same thing, okay? And now we know Bill Gates isn't a good guy. We got the RFID chip coming out, all this digital currency. So I'm going to read you this thing and what the prostitutes on mainstream media won't tell you. Do not believe everything on media. Who said live on CNN, we need lots and lots of testing? Bill Gates. Who's behind the tests? The WHO. Who helps fund the WHO? The Gates organization. Who's behind the pandemic documentary on Netflix? Bill Gates. Who has the patent for this coronavirus? The Gates organization. In October 2019, who ran a mock high-level pandemic exercise that eerily resembles the coronavirus at the Johns Hopkins Center and passed out coronavirus-themed stuffed toys for attendees? The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Event 201. Who heavily funds vaccines all over the globe? Bill Gates. Who has absolutely no medical background or training? Bill Gates. If you get tested for coronavirus, they have your DNA. As we have learned, who wants virtually as many people as possible to be tested? Bill Gates. What has a 98.8% recovery rate? The coronavirus. What did China use to recover from the coronavirus? High doses of vitamin C through IV and no vaccine required. You guys, this is as serious as it can get. Okay, this vaccine, this stuff that's coming on, it is all the beast system, and it's not man-made. And as I have said, war. This was sent to me by a friend, John, and reliable sources. I've been reading other things, which is going to be, further thing, but I'm just going to read this last thing. It says, get ready. USA will begin the war with drug cartels in Venezuela. This will involve other countries as well, even Mexico, who are run by the drug cartels. Trump said the plan is already underway. Look also for war with Iran, as well as pulling the Middle East into war. The big oil companies are behind this as prices have dropped to $20 a barrel, and a war and blockade who gives U.S. oil 30% more businesses and help them and our economy. Then watch China, Russia, and North Korea, which is I've had so many dreams of those three, China, Russia, and North Korea. I can't even tell you how many that when the nukes come down, we go up. The power internet will go out soon. EMP. As in the Illuminati, deck of cards. Please be ready for our redemption draws nigh. Anytime, anytime, anytime. Be ready. Jesus is coming.